This video coincides with Chapter 9 of the book. We're going to create a heads-up display to be used during the game. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a game object. It's going to be a UI object and it will be a canvas. So we can do that from the top menu. We're also going to do that via the hierarchy panel here. I right-clicked, select UI, and then canvas, and we'll rename that canvas to HUD for heads up display underscore canvas. We want to create several things that will go on that canvas. It will include images and text, and some of that text will be dynamically updated during the game. You'll also see in here in the hierarchy panel that there's an event system. That's the system that's used to manage the input. Next, we'll create two text components. I'm going to right-click the HUD canvas, go to UI, and then go to text. You see it's subordinate to the HUD canvas. And we'll name this health label. We'll do the same thing again. And we'll call it health slider. And double click the HUD canvas. You can see how it's a two-dimensional object. So we're going to appear top. I'm going to click 2D view. And again, double click on the health label. And now you can see a close-up of that. If we zoom out, you can see this canvas. That's the white rectangle. That's where all of our subordinate elements will be, and it represents the screen. We have the health label selected. Let's look in inspector view, and here where the component labeled text script, there's a text field, and instead of new text, we'll change that to simply health. And you can see that we can easily drag that to the screen. Now if we were to put this into game mode, you would see the health in the upper left hand corner. Of course, there's lots of things we need to do, but that's just to quickly demonstrate what that looks like. We can further edit that element. Here you see it has font style. Let's make that bold. We'll increase the font size to 16. And we can pick a different color here just by clicking color, and let's pick a dark blue color. And there it is. Okay, we're going to look at the health slider first and delete that. And instead, we're going to create a slider. I will name that health slider. And we can see in the hierarchy view that there's background, fill area, and handle slide area, all components that we can edit. We'll start by selecting the background of the slider, and we'll pick a red color. There you go. We'll also move this health slider so that it comes right after the label of health. We can zoom in if we need to see what that looks like. Okay, we'll select it again. Now we'll select the fill area. And then the fill, and we'll pick green, because green symbolizes good health, right? There we go. So now we want to move this little circle there because we're not going to ask the player to slide that to signify the health. We'll do that programmatically. So we have the health slider selected. First, we're going to change the height to 30 so it's a bit thicker, easier to see. And this is the handle slide area. I click handle, and here where it says image script, and it's a knob. And here you can see what the handle looks like. We'll just remove that component. And there you see it's been removed. We'll put 3 images under this health meter area to show how many lives remaining. So we're going to right click our canvas, UI, and then image. And then for the graphic that's going to go in there, we can resize it here. View for source image, we can just select that image. But first we have to change that image. In the inspector view where it says texture type, it says default, we'll change it to sprite, 2D, and UI. And now we can reselect the image. And we can import that, and there it is. There, and you can easily copy that a couple more times and name those appropriately. And here our 3 images are named Life 1, 2, and 3 in the upper right hand corner. We'll use these same steps to populate the upper right hand corner with the score and a cherry indicator. So we replicated this, and in the upper right hand corner we have a score label, a holding place for the score, a cherries image, and then a counter for the cherries. And in the lower left hand corner we have 4 text UI components, cucumbers, and then a number for it, and then cucumber beetles and a number for it. The last thing we're going to do our HUD is to create a mini map in the lower right hand corner. Start by taking this out of 2D mode. Then in the hierarchy panel, we'll create a new camera object. We'll name that camera to camera_minimap. Just so we know what it is. We'll double click it. And then we're going to change the transform rotations X value to 90. And that'll give us a top-down view. And we'll go ahead and position this camera in our scene view so that it's looking down on, if we wanted to, we could see the whole area. Essentially, we'll just leave it as that. Not quite done. I'm going to go in the project view and under assets, and then we're going to click create. Oops. Render texture, and we'll just call this render texture underscore minimap. Now in the hierarchy view, we'll select the new camera that we created. We'll look at the inspector panel, and we're going to look to the right of camera target texture. Click that circle, and we'll click render texture minimap that we just created. Just double click that. Now we'll ensure that it won't be treated as a minimap. Now we need to integrate the mini-map with our HUD. The first thing we'll do is we'll drag the camera so that it's subordinate to the HUD canvas. And now under HUD canvas, we're going to right click and we're going to select UI raw image. And we're going to rename that raw image UI component as raw image minimap. And in the inspector panel, we're going to select that small circle next to texture right here. And we're going to select the texture that we created. And then we'll put this in 2D mode, zoom in, and then we'll go ahead and drag that mini-map down in the lower right hand corner. Now we'll put this in game mode quickly, and we'll see that our mini-map is there with all of our components. And that is all for this video.